The Solomon Islands Chamber of Commerce and Industries Building and Construction Working Group subcommittee is calling for the establishment of an Institute of Engineers and Architects. The subcommittee, comprised of private sector representatives, initially proposed the plan in 2024 while pushing for the approval of the National Building Code Bill. Alex Adamo has more in the story.
The Chamber of Commerce Building and Construction Industry Subcommittee is calling for the establishment of an Institute of Engineers and Architects. Chair of Subcommittee Daniel Taka made the recommendation while appearing before the Bills and Legislation Committee during its public inquiry into the National Building Standards Bill 2025.
Getting a design engineer, there are very few qualified ones, and we don't even have an institution in place yet to vet our professionals in the industry. So any person who's a draftsman can say I'm an architect or can say I'm an engineer by just copying out a footing from a structural building and saying this is what you need, but it's not realistically what you need. It hasn't been engineered. I'm also aware there are a few aspects as far as regulating the code that still needs to be worked on, and that's because I'm familiar with the industry. I think the step we're trying to take, and I think what the government is trying to look at, and I'm saying this because I've been trying to work through this document for the past 5 to 7 years here, is establishing a starting point, because we need some place as the origin to work from. And right now, there's no Bible for MID as far as infrastructure is concerned to establish a starting point to work towards improving the other regulations. If we look at it holistically, if we can start in one location and improve from that point out and work our way by, after the National Building Code, maybe setting up the necessary institutions such as an institution for the architects, recognition for who are qualified architects, an institution for the engineers who are registered engineers acknowledged to participate and work in the country. They would also need to be an institution that works with immigration, so that just not any engineer that comes from outside the country can just come in and call himself an engineer. He has to come through the right processes.
Taka also referenced Papua New Guinea as a regional example of how such an institute can function effectively.
PNG does it. The act in PNG requires that any engineer wanting to practice in the country have to be affiliated with the engineering institution. We need to start thinking along those lines so that these institutions work with the government.
The Bills and Legislation Committee has concluded its public inquiry and compiled a report. The report is expected to be tabled in Parliament during its next session. Alex Adamo for SIBC TV.